Rose is going to talk for about 20 minutes, and then we'll move it up forward. But, and I forgot one very important thing to introduce my wife, Dr. Thank you, Reverend Quan. I also want to thank Shelley Waters and Dan French for being rainbow instrumental with
John, maybe we should get rid of the, I think people are having trouble hearing the mic through muffled and the speakers, so maybe we should just.
I was just thanking Dan French and Shelley Waters of the Work Committee for Team Rainbow and the Education Committee for the Reverend Fox together. In the early 80s, or 1984, coming up with Mel King running for mayor, Jesse Jackson's campaign for president. There were a group of us in the state Democratic Party. We had a Jackson caucus, and French was part of it. And we had recognized that the distinctive pattern of voter discrimination in the South, the second primary system where the black candidate won initially in the primary, they had to have a runoff, and then they would get ganged up on by white voters. That the systematic pattern of electoral discrimination in the South was making it very difficult nationally to achieve legislative goals, because these right-wing Democratic congressmen would get elected in the South, they get reelected and reelected and reelected, become chairman of the national committees, and just block everything that was coming from other people. And having learned about this, we became more attentive to what was going on in the South, and we became aware of the work of a group of people in the Black Belt of the South, referring to the rich soil on the basis of plantation slavery, of fighting to actually carry out the terms of the Voting Rights Act. And two of those people were Rose Sanders and Hank Sanders, and others were Albert Turner and Wendell Parrish. And when they actually succeeded in getting elected in this region of the South and threatening the kind of right-wing control, President Reagan charged them with voting fraud. So those two were trying to carry out the Voting Rights Act. And we organized up here a tour of Hank Sanders, who's Hank is Rose's husband. I guess that's the proper way to describe it. He was the part of the brains and brilliance behind his campaign in defense of their position, and also subsequently another group of elected legislators in the South. And some of you may have read in the newspaper, the New York Times, Boston Globe, in 1990, that there was a major battle over tracking in the public school system, and it led to a student and parent boycott to protect the black superintendent who was trying to bring about quality education. And Rose was the leader of that parent boycott. I believe her daughter was actually one of the leaders of the student side of the boycott. And it became clear that one of the leading thrusts nationally for quality public education was going on down there, and it looked very much like Boston. Not like Cambridge, but somewhat like Boston, because the mayor of Selma in 1965, Joe Smithman, is still the mayor of Selma in 1991. Anyway, Rose is everything. She was the first black female judge to be appointed to a judge in the state of Alabama. She's a playwright, a musician, a singer, as we learned this morning. And she has, because she was a student here 20 years ago in Cambridge, is particularly sensitive and appreciative, connects to the continuing contribution of the situation here, and we're delighted to welcome her here.
I feel so far away from you. I really can't hear you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I got the most pleasant surprise when I came into the church. I saw my sister Frances. she says I'm her daughter. She's too young. I'm too old for that relationship. So I would call her my sister, but she was like a mother to me when I was in law school here. And she looked so good. It makes me feel maybe I'm not so old after all, but she looked so good. But thank you for having me here. It has been a long day, but each time I go to a new place, I'm rejuvenated because I see all these smiling faces. But someone said to me that they're hearing my speech. I said, well, let's just call it a talk. And I don't have to worry about preaching to you. But to Jonathan and his wife and family, the people that helped me, I appreciate the opportunity to come back. And I'm really not sure what I'm going to talk about. I usually come into a place and I fill out my audience, and there's so much to talk about, you can't possibly talk about it all in 20 minutes. So I try to narrow it down. And so I guess I'll start rambling, but I might jump over something as I get some feedback from you. I think I'll just start off. Jonathan mentioned our school situation. And I know a lot of heard things about that in the news, and the truth about what's going on. As Jonathan said, 2 years ago, not 25 years ago, we were involved in a fierce battle to give quality education to all the children in our school system. And it's really ironical because I consider myself a halfway intelligent person, concerned mother, community activist, and yet I did not know what was going on with public schools. And it's interesting because people love to say, oh, if parents cared about their children and did this, they would know what was going on. They ought to go to PTA meetings, they ought to do that. Well, the truth is you can do all of that and still not know what's going on in your school. And if you look at the fact that, I'm not sure who I'm talking to in terms of socioeconomics, but I assume living in Cambridge, at least most of y'all will be considered middle income. And when you consider the fact that many of the children in our public schools are from parents and homes where there's a lot of poverty, there's a lot of problems, living in communities where there's a lot of apathy, a lot of unconcern, and a lot of effort to survive. And then we place high expectations on those parents than we do ourselves. Because if we don't know, how do we expect them to know? And I found it out myself because I am an involved person. I've worked with young people since I was young. Since I was a teenager, I've been working with youth groups. But it was in '87 that two things happened to me that was very critical. I knew that something was wrong with the schools, don't get me wrong. I knew that they were not of the quality they should be, and I knew there were problems. But I was really shocked in 1987 when a young man came to me and told me he could not take algebra. Very bright young man. As a matter of fact, he's at one of your schools now with full scholarship in Massachusetts. Yet in Selma, Alabama, he was told he couldn't take algebra. I really was shocked. I couldn't believe it. As bad as things were, I really didn't know they were that bad. Upon questioning the officials, I found that he was right. Here was a young man from a poor neighborhood, longing, begging to take algebra, and they said no. I found out there was a tracking system with 4 tracks. Another thing that happened, he said, oh, that was a poor young man in East Selma. You know, that's why it happened here. That same year, I was on my way to Cuba with my husband, and I got a call right before I was saying, you have to come. Inca has written this letter. It's my baby girl. And we're very concerned about this letter. Well, she had written a letter, Francis, complaining about racism in her school. This is good, right?